here just in time. Why don't you come on inside? I was just about to get started talking about what it was like growing up being homeschooled and all the pressure that was involved in that. I'm so glad you guys are here to join me. Now let's take a look into my history. Let's take a trip down memory lane. This is what I actually look like at age 12. We had enrichment classes that met once a week that taught my other core classes that my mom wasn't the greatest at teaching, like math, science, government, and history. We also took many trips to see historic places. This is us in Williamsburg, learning how it was like for them to live back then. Now that you know a little bit more about my background, let's get into today's topic. Today, we are reading a journal entry from May 11th of 2009. I am also 12 years old here.
The SATs were today, and we only got through math and language. Tomorrow we have 7 subjects, so we won't get done until 2 o'clock. Today, we got done at noon. Oh, and my ballet exam was tonight. I did okay, I guess, but I should have studied more.
First of all, let me tell you a little disclaimer. I was not taking the SATs at age 12, but I didn't remember what the name of the testing that we were doing was called. I was being tested because we were homeschooled. My mom wanted to make sure that we were on the right track and we weren't falling behind other children our age. As I was going through my old journal, I came across that entry and I remembered feeling so stressed and anxious and just all of this pressure on me to perform well in school, which triggered the topic of today, which is school pressure. School and grades meant everything to me. I started to base my identity and who I was on the performance of whether or not I was making straight A's, or if I failed a class, I thought I was less than. And I always wanted advice on what I'm supposed to do in situations when I just feel like school is too much. Let's talk about some advice. Some of the advice I got was to just study more. Don't worry about it. You're freaking out over nothing.
But let me tell you.
That advice did not work for me. As we learned previously, I needed something that was more concrete, something I could grasp, something that I could actually do to help alleviate this pressure. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. The advice I needed was to make a to-do list. By making a to-do list, you can actually see each and everything you need. And you can break it down by class. So by math, you have your math homework, your math assignments. Maybe you need to study fractions a little bit more. You can put that on your to-do list. Or you can break it up by the day. So for tomorrow, I need to make sure I get my math homework done. I need to make sure I get my writing homework done. I need to make sure I look at my history assignment. By making those to-do lists, you can take apart that pressure and to see where it's coming from. Once you make your to-do list, break it down into even smaller bites. So if your assignment is to write a paper, break that down into write an introduction. Break that down into find a topic. Break that down into what am I interested in. Break it down as small as you can get and just work and focus on each part at a time. If it's your math homework and you don't understand it, start with Googling how to simplify fractions, if that's what you're struggling with. Then write it down. How do you do that? The smaller you break down your assignments, the less pressure it will feel to do each one of them. Advice number 2, ask for specific help. I used to always ask for help, but it wasn't ever specific, and so all I ever got was those fluffy things. Help me with this pressure. Why am I feeling so much pressure? Well, just don't worry about it. But ask for specific help. If you're struggling with trying to write a paper, ask someone to sit down with you and brainstorm some ideas. If you're struggling with math, find somebody that you can ask, hey, can you tell me about how to do this one more time? Number 3, eat the elephant. I know, sounds a little strange. And it's something I learned once I was in college, that if you do the biggest, most pressurized task first, the rest of them will be so easy. And I don't mean write your 8-page paper, but if you're done first, unless, you left it for the night before. I mean, if you're dreading starting to write your paper, write that first. Because even when you're doing all of these other little tiny tasks, you're still going to be thinking about that big, huge task you have to do. But if you do that big, huge task first, You're so relieved it's finally over that all the other tasks are going to be way simpler to do. I keep referring to writing because I hated writing. But if your biggest task is math, do math. If your biggest struggle is history, do history. It's really up to you at that point. And last but not least, number 4. And we're talking about procrastination for this one. Self-care. Now, I know what you're thinking. Self-care is not really going to be productive, and it's not really going to help you take the pressure off. However, there is a point during the school year where I just am so overwhelmed by everything I have to do, I can't even start anything. And when I say self-care, I don't mean get on social media and look for an hour. I mean by doing something productively that helps with your self-care. So if you're stressed out and you're dirty, take a bath. If you're stressed out but you're already clean, organize your task list. Organize your room. Clean something. Clear out the clutter inside your mind, and it will make you feel 10 times less stressed. If you have a brain block and you can't even get started on something, research it. If you don't know anything about a topic, research it. Watch another YouTube video on that topic. Productive self-care will help you tremendously with relieving some of that pressure. Because A, you're not 100% procrastinating because you're actually doing something that gets you towards that goal. And 2, once you start working on your to-do list, like even taking a shower. Yes, I put showers on my to-do list because it's something that has to be done and it takes time out of my day. But once you start your to-do list, it's much easier to keep rolling through the rest of the things on that list because you start to feel better, you start to feel your mind clearing up, and you want to keep that going. Thank you guys so much for visiting with me today and chatting with me, talking about school. I hope some of this advice helped you and will get you on the right track to feeling less pressure about your schoolwork and about your grades. I hope you all have a less stressful school year, and I'll see you next time. I love you all. Bye.